Hello friends, welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to look at Tooltip page. Some of the challenges we will explore in this video, especially when you are working with the running total and then you want that running total on the Tooltip page. Let's actually look at the example and go through the solution. Let's get to Power BI and take a look. So here what I have is simply showing the sales by month, and I have a year slicer. Let's remove the year slicer for now. And then I'm also showing the running total sales. Again, let's take a look at the running total sales. I'm not going to go into the DAX expression here. We all know how does this work. So basically, I'm just calculating all selected calendar, whatever is selected, and then we are getting the running total. So this is working perfectly fine. So if I start from 2018 and 2019, it starts from the year we selected, like the sales is 481 for January, and then running total is adding up. It's not like start from the first transaction date. It is based on the start of the selection what we have in the slicer. So this is all working fine. Now let's say if we have a requirement that we are not showing the running total sales here in the matrix visual, but actually on hover over we want to show running total as a tooltip, then what would be the solution for that? So simply the first thing comes in mind is we will create another page, a tooltip page. So I'm creating a new page. Let's call it tooltip new running total, and we will change the page settings to make the running total work. We have to go and allow use as a tooltip, and now this is what it's going to look like. And let's add the running total as a card visual here, the measure which we created, which is running total sales here, and make it a card visual, and actually make it smaller and change the unit so that we can actually see, make it a little bit smaller, maybe 20, it's too big, and none. So this is what the number look like. Let's go to our page, the main page, which is page 8. And here what we can go in the format pane and select the tooltip on, and what I want is the report page, and then I want my TT new running total, the new page which we just created. Okay, so now if we hover over, what we expect is to see the running total. So let's go to sales. So on the first, okay, this perfectly shows fine. This is 481. But when we go to the next one, we don't see the running total. Whereas in the metrics visual, the same measure is giving us the running total, January and February combined. But when we put it on the tooltip page, we are just getting February sale, which is 477, not the running total, including January. And if we go to March, the same thing. We are just getting the March total instead of the January, February, March. And to understand why this is happening, what we can do is we need to understand why this number is coming up, not the running total, whereas it is working in the matrix visual but not on the tooltip page. To understand this, let's go to our tooltip page. First of all, we have this option keep all filters. So what does that means is when we are hovering over in this particular on our main page with the keep all filters, when we are in February, it is actually filtering the tooltip page because keep all filter is on. It is filtering the tooltip page for the month of February. When we are in a March, it's filtering for the March. And to see that, what we can do is let's add a new measure here, and then we will put that measure in our tooltip page. So let's see what the date range we are getting in the tooltip page. Let's tooltip page date range. I'm adding a new measure, so which will be simply minimum of calendar date. So let's get the what is our starting and concatenate it with the maximum of calendar date, so that we can see what the range look like when we see the tooltip page. So I'm going to copy this card visual and add my new measure. So let's put it in here and make it smaller. And okay, so now let's go back to page 8 and see what's happening. So when we are in January, the date range is 1st January 2018 to 31st January 2018, which is perfectly fine. What we expect is when we are in February, it should start from the January 2018 and up to the February 2018. That's how we will get the running total. But in this particular case, on the tooltip page, the date range is only February because of the keep all filters. So how we overcome this and should be the solution? The the solution for this is what we need to do is it means we need to find out when we are or whatever the tooltip or whatever the month we are at, we need that is our last date, and the starting date is whatever the selections we have made. So for example, if I have selected 2018, 19, 20, and if I'm May 2018, so the range I want is January 1st 2018 to May 2018, like last date of May 2018. If I selected 2017, and if I am on August 2018, for example, what I want my range to be starting from the 1st January 2017 to the August of 2018, depending on, and if I'm in September, then I want 1st January 27 to September of 2018. So this is what we need to do to calculate the date range, because we need to override the keep all filters, because keep all filter is giving us just the month we are at or the granularity we are looking at. If we're looking at the quarter, if the quarter is on the rows, then we will see the date range of that quarter, and if we're seeing the weekly, then we will see the date range of that week. But for the example, I'm showing the month here. So to achieve this running total on tooltip page, actually it's not a straightforward solution. We need a disconnected table. We need to make a use of a sync slicers and all that fun stuff. So let me show you guys what that solution gonna look like, and what are the various DAX and sync slicers involved in this. So what I did here is I already created a duplicate copy of my calendar table. So I called it calendar tooltip page. So it's just a copy of my calendar table. And I will show you why we need this, because without this, it is not possible to use the main calendar table and use that for the tooltip page, especially for this running total. So what we need to do is first we need this calendar, which I call TT. The month column we are going to use from this disconnected table. When I say disconnected table, this calendar TT table does not have a relationship with our fact tables. It's just hanging out there independently and does not have any relationship. So what we're going to do here is get the month, same column, from our calendar TT table in our visualization here. Now the sales and the return total sales are giving the same number, and the reasoning behind that is because it does not have any relationship with the fact table. So it means we need to tweak our measures as well. I already added another measure for the first measure is to get the per month sales so that it works. So what I have here is I think I call that measure sales TT. Let me grab that. So sales TT, so this is the measure I added here, and let me quickly so I added this measure. So what I have here is the sales is just a sum of sales. So treat as values from calendar TT date, and because this is what give us when I'm in July 2010 from disconnected table, I'm getting the date range of the July, and then I'm filtering my calendar date table, and that will filter our sales table. Again, the treat as function allows us to apply the filter on the disconnected tables, and or where there is no relationship, so we can force that filter. So now if I use the sales TT here in my visualization, let me grab that measure here and put it in the visualization here. Okay, so now what you will see is the sales, actually I'm going to remove other measures for now. So now the sales table is the measure is showing up the correct value. It's showing up. Actually, let's turn off the tooltip page for a second, because we first need to make these measures work before we get to the tooltip. Um, so now what we have is December. We have now we have the correct sales for the month using the disconnected table. And if I pick 2017, uh, it still shows me the 2017. And if I select in the slicer 2018, it still shows me the 2018 as the slicer, as the value. So one thing what we need to do here is we need to also, because this slicer, the year slicer, is from our main calendar table, it is not from the disconnected table. So what we need to do is, again, in our measure, we need to apply any other filter coming from our main calendar table. And that's what I was unchecked this just to show why we are doing it. So what we're doing here is giving the table name here, and we are going to force, this is a DAX magic where the tables, how the table filters the other filters. I did a video on this. Do check out that video when you get a chance. I will post the link of that video in the description of this video. So what this will do is it will force whatever the selection has been made in the slicer, which is coming from the main calendar table, and will force this to filter for those particular years. So let's see, how does the result look like now? Oops. So now you can see it starts from January 2019, and everything is working fine. If I go 2018, so now I see the 2018. So now we are at the point where if we use the calendar table, which is connected table, dimension table, and with the disconnected, we are able to achieve the same result. So far, so good. And now what we also need to do is create a running total measure. Again, I'm just creating a running total here to showcase how the running total will look like. So we will use the sales TT, which is a new measure we created with the TREATAS function, and just apply the running total on this particular in this running total measure. So if I grab that, so now I see the running total is working here. Everything is working fine. So this is perfectly fine. So again, the problem is not about the running total, but is to get the running total on the tooltip page. So how does this disconnected table and the new measures helped us to get the tooltip? So let's go back to our tooltip page. I think I'm using tooltip. Anyhow, we can pick any of this page. So first of all, in the tooltip page, we will bring our new running total measure, and I'm gonna remove this date range for now. So now we have a running total in this one. So let's see if we turn on the tooltip, will it work? So let's go back to our visual and go to tooltip and turn on the tooltip and make sure we pick up the respective report page, and we're going to pick the keep all filters. Just that's what I'm using here. So let's hover over. So again, this thing is still not working, and the reason behind that is it is filtering on this particular month. It's showing that month sale, because that's what is still, we are at the place where we started from. So this having even the disconnected table did not help at all. So what we need to do here is on keep our filters, we need to keep this, but also this is the key here, because what is happening here is we told in our sales table, okay, whatever the month I'm hovering over, it is passing to the tooltip page, and then the tooltip page is just filter the data for that specific month, and the sales is only filtered for that specific month. And again, the question what we wanted to solve here is, doesn't matter when I'm hovering over in any of the month, I need to also know what year has been selected in my slicer, so that I start from the first day of the selected year, the first year, and go up to the month I am hovering over to see the tooltip page. So this is where the sync slicer will come in the picture, and the reason behind that is we want this year selection to get into our tooltip page. So how we're going to do that? So we go into year, view, sync slicer. It's already turned on. So if I go in a sync slicer, what I'm going to do is I selected this slicer, and my keep all filters, it does not, because that's what is on the tooltip page. I can sync the slicer, so turn the sync on, and I can keep the turn off that because I don't want to see the slicer on my tooltip page. But for the sake of demo, let's turn this on as well. So this slicer will also show on the tooltip page. So what we're going to do is go to the tooltip sync slicer. So sorry, keep all filter. So now you will see the slicer is there, and whatever the selection we make on this page, on, let's say if I select 2017, and if I go to keep all filters and 2017 selector, so it's now synced. So did this help? How did this help to make this work? So let's hover over, and do we get the numbers what we're looking for? So 44507, still not the running total, is still giving for that specific month total. So it's still not working. But as you can see in the tooltip page, we see the sync slicer is working because it's showing us the 4 years what we have selected. Let's say if I selected 2019 and 2020 only. So now we have those 2 years selected. So it is working. The slicer is giving us the year selected. So given this, it means now we can work on to get the first date based on the year selected, and also we know at what month we are hovering over. We can get the last date at that point in time, and then we can calculate the running total. So let's write another let's write a measure and then see how this would work. So this measure, and just to make sure I'm clear here, the RT sales TT, which we added a few minutes ago, it is working when we are looking in the matrix visual. But again, the same measure when we used in the tooltip, it did not work. So because that tooltip page is filtered for that specific month, and we want to override that. But in this particular context, it's working. And so what would be the new measure look like? So let's start writing that. This will be very specific to the tooltip. I'm going to call it RT sales tooltip new. So first, what we need to do is, as I said, to calculate the running total, we need to know which month we are at, and the keep all filters on the tooltip page give us the month we are at with the disconnected table. Because why the disconnected table? Because we are using the month from the disconnected table on our visualization here. So let's say what we're going to call is last date, and that will be simply calendar date, calendar TT. Again, we have to be very careful here, because why we're using calendar TT? Because that's what the disconnected table is, and that's what getting used on the matrix visual. And when the tooltip page happens, this month is getting passed into the tooltip page. So what we want to do is we want to get what is the maximum date. So basically wherever we are hovering over, we're getting the last date of that month. So once we know this, what we just need to do is, because now we have with the sync slicer, we know that the months which are the years which are selected in our calendar table. Because again, why calendar table? Because this slicer is from our main calendar table. So we can just simply now write here a simple measure here, calculate our sales measure, which is our sum of sales. Again, the sum of sales is based on the based on the calendar table. If we are slicing by calendar, we will see the sales for that specific month. So we go filter, all selected, our calendar table, and Now what does this means is whatever this is selected, all selected will give us whatever is selected in the calendar table. And how does this helps? Because if I have 2019 and 2020 selected and the sync slicer on my tooltip page give me all the dates for 2019 and 2020. And so basically in the tooltip page we get all the full range of the selected years. And then what we need to do is we need to filter our calendar date at the maximum up to the last date what we are looking at, because if we are hovering over August 2018 and then the last date will be 31st of August, and that's why we want it only up to that particular date. So this will give us the running total. So basically if I started 2018, 2019, 2020, so what this is going to do is start from the 2018, because as the first year, 1st January of 2018 up to, let's say if I'm hovering over August 2018 up to August 2018. If I go to 1st January 2019, so the range is now 1st January 2018 to the 31st January of 2019, depending on which month we are hovering over. So now this is our measure expected to show the correct running total on the tooltip page. So let's go back to our tooltip page and use this RT sales new measure on our card visual. Let's make sure there is no decimal. Let's go back to our page here. So if we see, okay, in January 2019, that's what we have selected, 507, 748, and when we go to the next month, now in February 2019, we get 1.01 million, because that is January plus February, and as far we go further down, so it is 9.8 million. Again, this 9.8 million is showing RT sales TT here, which is correct. So now depending on what year we select, if we select 2018, and the running total will start the 1st January 2018, and we have the running total. One thing we can do here is, because showing the slicer on the tooltip page does not make any sense, that is just for the demo purpose. And why we can go here and in the sync slicer we can turn off that we don't want to see the slicer on the tooltip page, but behind the scene that's what is going to make it work. So go now, if we hover over, everything is working as expected. Again, this is a very small task, running total, and it works when you're working in a matrix visual or any other visuals, but as soon as you start using on the tooltip, everything stop working and it becomes a really challenging. So the solution is create a disconnected table and then update the measures to use the TREATAS from the disconnected table, and then this disconnected table is getting passed to the tooltip page, and also with the sync slicer we know from the sync slicer what years has been selected. So this particular hover over is tooltip page is helping us to get the which month we are at to calculate the running total, and the sync slicer in the years is helping us to get what the range of the dates has been selected, so that we can calculate the from the first date of the month whatever has been selected till the last date of the month we are looking at. Now with this solution you can use any granularity on the matrix visual to show the data, like it could be week, month, and you can have multiple slicers here as well. There could be a slicer month, there may be slicer is a quarter, and whatever. This will work in all the scenarios. Very simple task, but again the purpose of this was just to show how the tooltip page works, how to override the filters get passed to the tooltip page, and the disconnected table and the sync slicer helped us to achieve all that too, and then finally the measure which we use in the tooltip page. I hope you learned few things from this video. Let me know what you guys think about it, and did you guys ran into this issue in the past and how you solved it. Do subscribe my channel. Lot more Power BI videos like this I'm bringing up. Until next video, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye for now.